You say it so much better. We just popped on, folks. We're talking about, Tommy and I talking about going live, and I was trying to mimic him going live, but it doesn't have the same flow and character that he provides. So could you say it again for us, Tommy, for the audience?
No, come on. It's alive.
Correct. And he's the public speaker, folks. See, confidence and public speaking, they don't go together. So, point well made. Thank you, Tommy, for presenting that.
You're just looking for pure silliness. That's all you're looking for. That's all you want from me.
Hey, excuses, justifications. All of us insecure people have those things in hand, and we're loaded with them, to say that differently. Again, some background work for those who sign in early, and actually it's now 8 o'clock. What we do is we do some background chatter just to loosen things up, and even on the replay side, feel free to sign in to enjoy that part of it and learn from it. And as a reminder, you can hear us on LinkedIn, you can hear us on Facebook, you can hear us on YouTube. You can leave comments in each of the three. YouTube only if you sign in through your Gmail account. And when you sign in, share your likes, share your thoughts, share the things you'd like to hear you haven't, or the things you don't want to hear you've already heard. And more importantly, share it with other people also. Tommy claims, and his group supports him on this, that he's good at what he does. So besides having our banter back and forth and our punching at each other, you may very well have a question that can make a significant difference for yourself and your business and your life. So that commercial break over. Oh, by the way, if you'd like to keep in touch with us in a more mechanical manner, please remember to click the subscribe button on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And that puts us in your catalog file, you might say. Today's topic is the concept, and we're already getting a good morning from a Robert Burr. My less than confident friends. Well, I'm the less than confident guy. Thank you, Robert, for your comment and support on that. Tommy's the one that says, hey, I got it going. But yes, we caught him first thing this morning. Oh, come on, Joe, don't ask me to do that. So how do we justify that? Thank you, Robert.
Funny.
That being said, Tommy and I have had through our different sessions, and this is our 17th one already.
Wow.
About what public speaking actually is. And Tommy is old school. I will recognize that with all due respect. I'm kind of more current, I'd like to say, as a contrast. And what we're talking about here is Tommy actually had on one of his Facebook accounts a commentary about he misses being in front of people, engaging with people. So my question is, to start this off slowly, if we go to networking meetings, when that comes again physically, somebody gets up and gives a 30-second or 60-second spotlight. Is that public speaking?
Oh my goodness! If you're asking me,
yes.
One of the most. Oh, is there anybody else here?
I didn't say he's a sharp guy, also, folks. But
that's true.
Make your own judgments.
Speaking, but we draw the line there. So it might be one of the most important public speaking presentations you'll ever give. You know, when you think about it, right? Public speaking and getting your message across. Remember, we talk all the time throughout these talks, and I hope it kicks in for our listeners that, you know, there's the messenger and there's the message. And the messenger, it's so important to get the message out. So if you're a business owner or you're working for a business or you're in sales, the most important thing you can do in 30 seconds is be clear, precise with your message. So what that takes is you have to become a good messenger and then create the message. Put them two together, home run. You go to a networking event and you leave and nobody knows what you do or who you are. Why'd you go? Great.
All right.
Yeah,
I get that. So now we're going to work the slippery slope part of this. And okay, that's physical encounter. Now, what if somebody is in a Zoom Connect call, and that's a brand name, but I'm sure it will become generic at some point, and gives the same 60-second format, right? Then is that still public speaking if it's virtual and not in person?
Well, the one thing I can say to you that may be the difference, talking amongst friends is not. Thanks, Robert. So that being said, the 30-second pitch on Zoom, if you're in a networking event, the good thing about it is on Zoom compared to other places, you could use cheat notes. No one would know if you had your 30-second pitch up on a Word document and you were just going through it and using cheat notes to get your 30-second point across. And if you're not good at doing it and you're on a Zoom call, I suggest that you have your bullet points up there that you want to talk about on your Zoom call. See, live, sitting in front of somebody, they would notice. But even I would suggest sometimes there's nothing wrong with having bullet points in front of you, what you want to touch on during your networking event live or on Zoom. Have those bullet points that you make sure that you want to hit. And you can cheat a little bit more on Zoom. Like right now, I'm reading all this as we speak because
I believe that. It sounds like too smooth a flow of dialogue to be off your top of your head.
That's too intelligent. First of all, I'm taking a lot of punches today. I'm gonna have to cover up a little bit. Yeah. That being said, yes, it's the same except that here's the story. On Zoom, you're a messenger with a message. Get it out as clearly, as precisely. Get to the result you're looking for. Start with the outcome in mind, work your way back. How does that happen?
All right, I hear that. So I'm going to bring up Robert's comment again, or commentary, and I appreciate this. And I'll read it. Yes, it is. As long as you're speaking to other people in public, it's public speaking. Talking amongst friends is not. And I get the distinction there. But the question I'm having now is, Robert, in this action, is he now public speaking, of speaking publicly, even though it's by script and not by word?
Well, one of the things that I see with Zoom or coming on, and it is the new way of connecting. I wouldn't say it's public speaking, but I will say, like on LinkedIn, for instance, when someone puts a like or a comment on your post, you can communicate back, right? You can say something back. You can get a back and forth going. You can grow a little bit together in your connection, build a relationship through LinkedIn. Totally different things. But yes, I wouldn't consider it public speaking, but I would consider it communication and communicating with people. So a back and forth. And I had this question the other day with my person I work with in my business on my LinkedIn. Is this the new way of communicating? And, it really is a big part of how we communicate. Public speaking, presentations, really, really big part. But now through answering back to someone on a Facebook post or answering back to someone on a LinkedIn post, communication compared to public speaking. So no, I wouldn't say it's public speaking, but I would say it's a great form of communication.
Well, public speaking, then you're saying, is one version of communication?
Public speaking is doing a broadcast. It's taking it out to people. Is public speaking a form of communication? Yes, it is. Communicating with an audience, communicating with a group. Yes, I get it. But you have to learn the skills of public speaking to become a public speaker to do it live. Now, the only thing you have to worry about if you're responding to someone on LinkedIn or something of that effect is to have good skills at writing. That your verbal skills are coming through into writing, that you don't look like a buffoon because you're just putting in stuff that makes no sense. So communication, your writing skills should be better. For me personally, my thoughts go from here to my lips to the world.
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
Well, but that's where I'm best. But I'm going to share this with you. So My challenge was taking this to the pen. Right? Wasn't very good at it. It flows completely verbally for me. But to write and articulate my thoughts in writing was challenging. But we've been blessed that Word has a diction in it now that I can speak into Word my thoughts, and they come across and they type out onto a Word document, which in turn is fantastic. And then all I have to do is edit it and put it through grammar. Because I come from Hudson County, we struggle with a little bit of that.
You and me both on that one, so I get that one completely.
Right, but it also gives me a way to communicate with my skills. My skills are verbal skills. They really are. Not writing skills, not sending back. If I was with you and you said something to me, like something you said, hey, Tommy, I really enjoyed that post you put on LinkedIn, right? I'd be able to verbally communicate that back to you like, well, thank you. Could you tell me a little bit more about what you liked about it? But for me to type that in, it's two different worlds.
Okay. Well, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to bring up Robert's comment again, and I hope Robert makes another comment. He just hit me the last sentence. Talking amongst friends is not. Well, my thing is, I've seen weddings and people getting married. That's what a wedding is about, and the
Makes sense.
toastmaster, the best man, the best lady will give a talk or speech in honor of or roasting, whatever it may be. But they're amongst friends, and they're speaking to a group. Wouldn't that count as public speaking?
Oh, well, giving a toast is certainly, as a matter of fact.
But he defines amongst friends is not. So
I think he's talking about hanging out, having a cigar and a scotch.
Well, I know that, but I want to make the point though.
Well, the question would be: is speaking in public speaking?
Exactly, because you've indicated any communication with somebody else is a form of public speaking.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden.
Yeah. No, I think what Robert's saying is there that it wouldn't be formally public speaking. Right? He's not defining. You wouldn't go to a course to learn how to talk to your friends, is what I think he's getting to the point of. Right? You wouldn't take a course.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that for your support.
Boom, the referee just stepped in. It's over. Standing 8 count.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do about blocking that name from future references. But
yeah, so you wouldn't take a course on how to talk to your friends, and you need to take a course in public speaking. You really do. Everyone should.
Well, I hear that. But again, I'm going to go back to prior dialogues that you'll say that when one talks to friends, if I've heard correctly, it's really almost people get nervous, quote, when they think of public speaking. But yet they can show a picture of their grandchild and pass it around to a group of 5 people at a network meeting and talk about the history of it. Isn't that public speaking? It's amongst friends. It's dialogue. And I think you say that because you say it's not so much harder other than in your head, because you have the skill already. I mean, that's your proposition, yes?
Well, yeah, and it's the comfortability quota right there. That you're in a comfort zone. You're in a comfortable arena. You're in, But again, think about it. If that same person went out to a networking event, would their heart be pounding a little different because they're going to be sitting amongst a group of strangers and presenting and communicating? Right? It changes everything. So when you're sitting around just having conversations, people you know. Right? There is no mistakes. You're not thinking, oh my God, what am I going to say? In reality, what you're only doing is responding to something someone said, putting your 2 cents in and having a conversation, which I will tell you this, that one of the things I always like to teach, speaking about conversation, one of the most important things you can do as a public speaker is to make your presentation conversational.
Well, I hear that, but that's where I am with this. Again, my premise is assuming one can become a public speaker confidently, perhaps saying it like that, it's really a continuum of conversation in terms of playing your head game, that it's not all of a sudden you have different pressures on you. Yes, you do, maybe you don't. If you think of it as a conversation, as a sharing, this is what you like to use. So now I'm completely lost on the concept of conversation and publicly in front of other people. Isn't that the art to engage, to have dialogue, to express yourself? Help me out on this, Tommy. I'm lost.
Well, to take you where I think we need to go, I think the difference comes down where the fear kicks in is, you're not thinking so much in someone's living room, sitting around in a cigar den, having a cigar. You're not really, in your back of your mind, you're not worried about what people are thinking about you, right? You're not feeling judged. You're not worried, did I do this right? Did I do that wrong? So when you go out into the public and you're doing a presentation, the fear kicks in. Am I on time? Is my dialogue good? Am I right? So like I tell you, there is no fear of public speaking. In my mind, there's a fear of being judged. And I truly believe that.
Interesting. And that happens to go along. You guys must do crypt notes before we go online here, because he says whenever you get up in front of people, either in person or virtually like a Zoom, it is considered public speaking. That's his opinion, which is okay. There is formal and informal versions of public speaking. I think maybe that's what you just said. Sorts. Yeah.
The informal sitting around chatting, you could label it whatever you want. I will say this. If we really want to fine tune this so we're not taking people down a wrong path.
Well, excuse me, that's my purpose here, Tommy, to keep you from doing that. So
well, listen, you're not doing a very good job. I will tell you that. That being said, there could be many versions of public speaking.
Right.
The public speaking that I train people on and talk to people about is being in front of a group.
Okay.
And having to stand solo with a presentation, with a message for the audience. And I like to look at two specific ways of public speaking for me where I think it's very, very important in business. One is standing in front of a group and presenting a larger group, classroom style, or bigger, auditorium style, right? And some people get to the point of arena where they're that big. But if, let's say, auditorium and down, auditorium presenting, you are the presenter, you are the focus, you are the message. And then the one I want to talk about, like we started out with, so important, is the 30-second pitch. What a great way to look at public speaking. If more people would look at it and really fine tune and hone their 30-second speech, right? If you get that down, and then you make a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, right? Where you just start to understand, if I can do it for a minute, I can do it for 3 minutes, I can do it for 5 minutes. That's where the growth comes in. So if I was to say to anyone on the call today, fine tune, hone your 30-second pitch, make it a presentation, not just something that you memorize. One of the things I like to say is it's okay to save it to memory, just don't memorize it. Let it flow, let it be you. Who knows more about you and your business than you do? I hope nobody. I really do.
Well, folks, besides it being our 15 minutes, and thank you for being with us, even on the replay side, Tommy actually finished this off with something well said. So I will not give him a chance to muck it up by giving him more time to talk. So I think we'll stop at this point. Thanks, folks. And you and this guy, Robert Burr, I hear he's a good person when he does. I think he's a public adjuster. And by the way, I still think my preference and my bias is we've had dialogue with Robert, and that's communication. Certainly, it's conversation and it's public. So we're still going to come back to this at future dates in terms of what defines public speaking, not so much classically, but the new wave stuff. Thank you again. We're about to sign off. Any final words on you, Tommy?
I know I got you with a standing 8 count today, so I'm a happy guy.
Okay, fair enough on that. We'll see how that goes. Going to end.